Okay, welcome back, everybody. This is the First Inning Podcast, and I am the BX Bomber, and I'm along with Roger, the big Yankee fan. How are you, Raj?
Okay, doing good, DX Bomber. I'm always happy to talk to you, and this is always fun.
Yeah, man, it's been a great weekend with the Mets and Yankees, wasn't it? Too bad it was a washout yesterday, but it was an exciting game.
Yeah. Basically, on Friday night, the Yankees had 14 hits, but did not get the big hit, even though they did score 5 runs. And Syndergaard pitched for the Mets, and Syndergaard is one of the Mets' top pitchers. And the Yankees were able to score 5 runs, but they did get 14 hits, so they did not hit very well with runners in scoring position. And the Mets pulled that game off 7-5. And then on Saturday, the Yankees took a 7-3 lead, and Chapman had a meltdown in the ninth inning, and he allowed 3 walks and a hit batter and an infield hit, and Aaron Boone had to take him out of the game because he really had a meltdown and could not throw strikes, and he was taken out of the game, and Jason Trees came in and got a double play with 1 more run scoring, and then he got the final out. So Jason Trees saved the day. It was Jason Trees' biggest moment as a Yankee, saving the game for the Yankees, and the Yankees pulled it out 7-6. And then on Sunday they had the rain out.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for the rain out, but like I told you, man, in the last podcast, it was 50-50 with these guys, you know, because Herman, he tried, man, but he don't got nothing, man. He don't got nothing. The Yankees are gonna have to make some big moves, because this can't go on anymore. Because if the Yankees are gonna lose 1 or 2 games a series, we might not even make the wild card. Looking at this way.
Well, the best thing to do is win series.
Yeah.
You know, no one ever really talks about sweeping series. You know, the best thing to do is if you win 2 out of 3, my goodness, you're going to end up with 108 wins. You know, so winning 2 out of 3 is very good. You know, concentrate on winning a series. And what they did with Herman is they have sent him back down to the minors, and they have recalled Luis Sessa up. And I've heard from, I was listening to NYY News. We'll give him props. NYY News is with Felix. And Felix was saying that the Yankees may possibly looking to flip Sonny Gray or possibly trade him back to the Oakland A's. I haven't heard it anywhere else, but the Yankee pitching situation, there's not a lot of pitchers available. Many of them have gone on the disabled list now at this point. So we'll see what the Yankees do as far as getting another pitcher or 2.
And just like you just mentioned, the Oakland A's. The Oakland A's right now are having a hell of a win streak going on right now. And that's the team that's going to be killing us or killing Boston if they get to play them. That's the sleeper team right now. Oakland, man. Because I think they have a good... Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say the A's are 57-43 now, just 3 games behind Seattle, and they've been playing very well.
Yeah.
And they just made a trade with the Mets and picked up Yuri's Familia, the Mets closer. The Mets traded Familia to the A's now, but the A's have Doolittle closing for them. But Familia has been traded to the A's now, so it looks like they're stocking up to try to make a playoff run.
And like I mentioned before about the Cleveland Indians, they're like the same team, Oakland. They're a strong team. They got strong players there, and they always try to. They can always make the playoffs every year, but it's just their pitching falls off somehow, and they don't have a bullpen anyway. So, you know.
What they recently did is they just made a trade and picked up a very good relief pitcher named Brad Hand, basically. So Brad Hand has come to the Indians now. Brad Hand is a outstanding relief pitcher, and they're expecting to get Andrew Miller back as well. So the bullpen will be improving soon.
Well, like you just said, bullpens will be improving. And now that we have what? We have a week to go, a week and a few days to go to the trade deadline, and the Yankees still haven't done nothing yet, man. I can't believe it, with all these talks and trade rumors and this guy and that guy, and still nothing, man. I just don't get it.
Well, what has happened is a lot of the pitchers that they were thinking of going for have gone on the disabled list. Fulmer has just gone on the disabled list. Martinez of the Cardinals has just gone on the disabled list. And a lot of the guys that they're looking for, J-Happ is kind of a secondary type pitcher, really. You know, he's not really what you would call a major ace like DeGrom, for example. And the Mets really aren't going to trade DeGrom. You know, as much as the rumors we're talking about, I don't think the Mets will do that. So the Yankees have seen a lot of the pitching guys that they wanted to go for. A lot of that is drying up on them. So they may have to work from within at this point. And they have just called up Luis Sessa again, who is the second pitcher they got along with Chad Green. But as I was saying, we'll see if Justice Sheffield gets called up soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like you mentioned, the Mets. The Mets, another injury. Syndergaard has a mouth, hand, and foot disease.
I know, that's usually a child's disease, and he apparently picked it up when he was visiting a youth camp, basically. And I know that's really weird. You know, it's freakish. Yeah,
it is kind of freakish because normally when you go to these things, you don't really touch anything. You know what I mean? So
right.
I don't know how he got it. I don't know what he did.
And Cespedes as well is having trouble with his heel now. And Cespedes came back, played one game against the Yankees, and he is out again. And he may need surgery on his heel. He's having some major problem with his heel, and he possibly might need surgery. So the Mets are just having one injury after another. The poor Mets are really having trouble.
Yeah, well, let me tell the Met fans something. Met fans, don't give up, because if you go to the game, you're either going to see a very great game or a very noble effort, if you know what I mean.
Right. Right. Their starting pitching is very good, but then their bullpen was giving it up. You know, that's why DeGrom only has 5 wins. He is one of the best pitchers in the major leagues, DeGrom, but he has 5 wins and 4 losses and has a lot of no decisions. And the Met bullpen has blown many of the games for the Mets.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So now the Mets move on, and the Yankees are playing the Tampa Bay Rays. I used to call them the Devil Rays. I used to like that name until the crocodile hunter got killed by a devil ray. Remember that? And then they changed their name.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah, the Rays have been playing quite well. I mean, everyone thought that the Rays would tank, but recently they've done quite well, and they recently beat the Yankees pretty good. And the Rays have some decent players. They have Crone, who plays first base, and he leads the Rays with 19 homers and 50 runs batted in. And Wilson Ramos has 14 home runs for the Rays. And Gomez has done pretty good with 8 home runs. He's a right fielder for the Rays. And Matt Duffy is batting 3 for 14 for the Rays with 4 home runs. Matt Duffy is very good, and they picked up the veteran Bernard Span as well, who's on the Rays.
Yes, and you know what? I'm so happy that they got rid of Ivan Longoria, man. He was like an anchor on that team there. You know?
Oh, well, many considered him to be the franchise player, really, Evan Longoria.
Yeah.
And they traded him away because the Rays consider themselves a small market team, and when they really have to pay for a player, they end up trading them.
Yeah, he was becoming like a equivalent to like a Carmelo Anthony. You know, big time player, but stinking up the team. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Well, he basically, they traded him over to the San Francisco Giants.
Yeah, now they're gelling over there, too. They're in a big pennant race with those Dodgers and Machado.
Right. Right, Machado is a very good pickup for the Dodgers at this point and can put them over the top. You know, it's not quite like the other sports that are very physical, where in basketball you could have a LeBron James that could take the team on, take the team to the championship. But in baseball, it's much more individual. You're at bat facing the pitcher, and it's a much more individual sport where one particular baseball player cannot take a team to a championship as well as, say, in basketball, where you would have LeBron James being physical and taking over the game.
Yeah, absolutely. As I look at the Tampa Bay Rays right now, they don't hit too many home runs, man. CJ Cron has 19, and Wilson Ramos, I think he's on the 10-day disabled list. He only has 14 home runs, and everybody else has like 4 or 3 or 2.
Right. Robertson, who's their second baseman, has 8. They have 2 players with 8. Gomez and Robertson have 8. And Field, who is also a right fielder, has 6. And then they have a few guys with 5. And they have been doing quite well recently, and they are over 500 at this point in time. They are 50 and 49, and have moved past the Toronto Blue Jays and are in 3rd place. They're well behind the Yankees, but they've been playing some decent baseball recently. And what the Rays have been doing also is they've been very unusual with their pitching staff, where they have a couple of days where they won't use a legitimate starting pitcher, where they will have a bullpen day, and they will start with bullpen pitchers and call them openers. And they've been recently using a 98-mile-per-hour bullpen pitcher named Stanek to open their games.
Let me add to that. That is an idea that I heard from a manager, as well-known manager called Lou Piniella. And Lou Piniella, Sweet Lou, he always had an idea to use your best pitchers in the beginning of the game. Let's say your closer, right? Because he always ends the game, right? And that's your best pitcher. So his idea was to bring him in for 1 or 2 innings and your best middleman, and then end the game with the starter.
Yes, that is the formula that the Rays have been using recently, and they've been winning with it. And they've been holding teams down to low scores, and that has been the formula that the Rays have been using. And Romo, who has been a veteran with both the Dodgers and San Francisco Giants, is also on the Rays now, and they've been using him in that fashion as well. Romo is a soft-tossing relief pitcher that has a great breaking pitch, and they have been using him in that style as well.
Yeah, that I believe from what I hear, Lou Piniella has to have some type of input on that team there, because that's a Lou Piniella idea. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's working, man. And I didn't think it would ever work, but it is working. And you know what? And who's to say a starting pitcher has to start the game anyway? You know what I mean?
I know the game is changing so much. The bullpen is so important now.
Yeah.
In many ways, you know, there's no complete games in Major League Baseball. There's only a complete game once in a great while these days. You know, when you go back to the days of Whitey Ford or Bob Gibson or Sandy Koufax, or even in the 70s with Nolan Ryan, you know, there were many complete games. Tom Seaver, they would often throw well over 300 innings in the season. But now there is so much emphasis on pitch count, and after 100 pitches, you know, getting the pitcher out at the bullpens have been emphasized greatly, and there's hardly any complete games anymore.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think the bullpen idea was reinforced with the Yankees actually in 1996 and 98. I think we're the ones that started having the ultimate bullpen, you know, because the Yankees at that time, we had a lefty specialist, we had a closer, we had a special setup man. It was crazy at that moment. and then everybody else, follows suit after that.
Oh, yes, that's true. Well, in the 50s, they were called firemen, basically, is what the relief pitcher was called, and they used to be failed starters. But now bullpens are very specialized, and one of the first big bullpen pitchers to get a huge contract was Goose Gossage, who signed Yankees after the 77 season and pitched with the Yankees in the 78 season, helping them defeat the Dodgers in the World Series. And he supplanted, he took over for Sparky Lyle, basically. Sparky Lyle had won the Cy Young Award as a relief pitcher in 77, and then the Yankees signed Goose Gossage, Rich Goose Gossage, who was a 98-mile-per-hour fastball bullpenner for the 78 season, and then they traded Sparky Lyle shortly after that, after the 78 season, and Gossage was the type of fireball pitcher that was throwing 98 miles per hour, and he was used for multiple innings at that time in the 70s. They would use closers for 2 and 3 innings. Now they usually just use the closer for 1 inning.
Or maybe 1 out, if you're lucky.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Especially if you got Girardi being the manager. Holy cow, man. That guy will piss me off, man. Because a guy, he will bring in a closer, and he'll start the game, start the inning, and he'll get 2 outs. He might be in trouble, but he'll get the 2 outs, and then he'll bring in the guy for the last out, and then that guy blows the game.
Joe Girardi would often go with the matchups, and many people that were critics of Joe Girardi said he relied on the binder too much. He had a binder, a notebook with all kinds of statistics and batting averages and everything, and he, instead of relying on his eye or his gut, he would often rely on the binder, and many critics said that he would make some wrong moves because he relied on the binder too much.
I'll tell you one thing. Between the Yankees from last year, well, not last year. I'll say from 2 years ago to now with Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone, you see Rothschild talking to him. The bench coaches is talking to him. The batting coach is talking to him. Now with Girardi was on another level. It was his way or the highway. Okay?
Right.
And when you saw these guys in the dugout, Rothschild would be on the other side. He didn't want nothing to do with Girardi. The batting coach would be on the other side. He didn't want nothing to do with him neither. And there was no binder. The binder's sitting there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Girardi will be standing there holding a baseball like an idiot. You know what I mean?
Oh, I guess you're not a Girardi fan.
I'm not. I tried to be, man, but I was sick of him already. Sick of him, man.
Yeah.
And now, finally, we have a manager, Aaron Boone, which is managing the team. He's gelling with the team. He's been friends with a lot of players already.
Right.
through ESPN and stuff like that. So he knows a lot of these guys. He knows what they're capable of. And these guys are just playing. They're just playing. There is no matchup
he's
or whatever.
He's younger to begin with. He's only 45, and he has a lot of media savvy. He did the Sunday night baseball games on ESPN. He's good with the media, and he delegates a lot of responsibilities. He works closely with Josh Bard, who is the Yankees bench coach now, and does rely quite a bit on Rothschild for the pitching, and he delegates a lot of responsibilities and works more as a team, basically, with the upper management and with his coaches, and is a delegator as in his managing style.
Yeah, absolutely, man, because the Yankees have the management, they have the talent, they got everything going right now, We just can't tank out. That's the only thing, man. That's the only thing I'm worried about is them tanking out, man. And it's not going to be good.
I don't think that will happen. just hope that the Red Sox slow down quite a bit. But the Yankees, as I've said to you quite often, I'm very pleased with their record. They're 29 games over 500 and playing some outstanding baseball. They have their way of doing it. There are some problems. They do strike out quite a bit, and they rely heavily on the long ball. But they've been successful. It's just that the Red Sox are playing 700 baseball right now.
Yeah, man, and nobody's hurt on the Red Sox. Nobody's getting hurt over there, man. Nobody's on the. I don't even think they have not one player on the disabled list over there.
No, they've been doing very well. But as far as the Rays are concerned, Blake Snell has gone on the 10-day disabled list, and Blake Snell is their number one left-handed starting pitcher and has been very good for the Rays and was in the All-Star game. So the Yankees won't be facing Blake Snell in the series, and they also won't be facing Chris Archer in the series as well. Tonight's matchup is going to be Severino, who's going for his 15th win against a pitcher named Wood for the Rays, who does not have a record but has a pretty decent earned run average. So hopefully the Yankees can have a very good series down in Tampa.
So who Tampa Bay is going to replace for Blake Snell tomorrow?
I'm not sure. I didn't find out that information. But Blake Snell has been put on the 10-day, but I wasn't able to find out that information. So I'm not sure about tomorrow.
But at least the good thing is we got Tanaka tomorrow, so that should be a win tomorrow. And today definitely should be a win.
Yeah, Severino is just, he's the Yankees' ace. He's heads above any of the other Yankees starting pitchers.
Yeah, then on Wednesday is Luis Cessa with Nathan Eovaldi, right? So we should get to him too. He's not that great neither.
Right, but there has been some talk about the Rays possibly trying to sell off Eovaldi, and the Yankees might have a little bit of interest. It's just rumors now, but I don't know if the Yankees would take a second chance on bringing Eovaldi back.
No, because he sucked when he was here, man. He was horrible.
Yeah.
He was horrible. No, he's not coming back. No, he's not coming. Leave him over there. Leave him there. Leave him there. So it's gonna look it's gonna be very interesting. Very interesting.
Yes. Yes, the Yankees, I'm hoping will have a good series against the Rays, and then they come back home, and you'll be going to the games on the 26th and 27th against Kansas City.
That's right. On Thursday, we're going to be broadcasting live from Yankee Stadium.
Wow, that'll be excellent. Excellent. Very good.
That's right. We're going to take this podcast on the road.
Yes, and I'll be back up, as you know, in September, and definitely looking forward to spending time with you guys, and always enjoy talking baseball with you for sure.
Yeah, man, I love it, man. And especially with this season that the Yankees are having right now, it's like it makes you become a super fan. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes. Well, everyone loves a winner, but you and I are not bandwagon fans. We, as I said, when I was a little kid, it was before George Steinbrenner had even bought the Yankees, and they were owned by CBS at that time, and they were really down in the dumps when I started rooting for them as a young kid when I first went into Little League. And then Steinbrenner bought the team in '73 for just $10 million. Now it's a multi-billion-dollar team, and he built it up and made some shrewd trades, and by '76 they were back in the World Series against the Cincinnati Reds with Billy Martin as their manager, and they did get swept by the Big Red Machine in '76, but then in '77 and '78 they had back-to-back World Series championships over the Dodgers.
Yeah, that's right. And man, those were great games too, man. I wish I was alive at them times to see them things in real life. That must have been.
Oh yeah, well I'm a little bit of an old guy, so I was a teenager and a high school guy back in the '70s, basically, a young kid. So I saw those teams with Billy Martin as manager and being fired, and Bob Lemon taking over, and Greg Nettles and Thurman Munson and Chris Chambliss and Mickey Rivers. Lou Piniella, Reggie Jackson, Ron Guidry, that whole group. Those were my teams in the 70s when I was growing up.
Yeah, man. Growing up for me, it was Don Mattingly. That was my era. That's when I started with Don Mattingly and Dave Winfield.
Right.
Those
Dave
guys.
Winfield signed a 10-year contract in 1980. And it was $22 million. It was the hugest contract at that time in 1980. And then in 81, that was Reggie Jackson's last year, but Reggie Jackson went on to have a long career playing. He actually eventually ended up going back to the A's, but he played for the Angels and several other teams and went on after he left the Yankees.
Yeah, man. Yankees have so many great players. See, what people don't understand is that the Yankees, they started everything in baseball. Everything that baseball has today, the Yankees had started it.
Right.
When
you think about it, in the early part of the 20th century, it was the dead ball era. And then when the Red Sox sold Babe Ruth to the Yankees in 1919, that's when the home run was emphasized and the live ball era began, and Babe Ruth became the long home run hitter, and Ty Cobb resented that back in those days. Ty Cobb was more into small ball, and he kind of resented Babe Ruth hitting the 450 to 500 foot homers, and Babe Ruth really in the roaring 20s became an icon and a hero himself, and the Yankees really took off in the 1920s and now have 27 World Series championships.
Yeah, man. Really, the one who started everything is George Steinbrenner. Wrigley, and for the Cubs, he's the one that brought the organ into the game for music.
Right.
But Steinbrenner is the one that added the music to the crowd, the clapping and to get the crowd into the game. He's the one that started all that stuff. And
I didn't know that. The sound effects that they played, the music, and
he invented that. Bam, 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 bam. He invented that.
I didn't know that.
And I saw a documentary with Bob Shepard, and when he met, he got hired by Steinbrenner because Bob Shepard was still with the Yankees, and then Steinbrenner bought the Yankees, so he got hired by George Steinbrenner. So when he met Steinbrenner for the first time, Steinbrenner didn't really say anything to him, and then he said, "Yo, I want music at the thing," and then he played that one that I just played and some other stuff that George Steinbrenner started. And that's how it began, man. And then from there, not Bob Shepard, the organist.
I forget his name. The original Eddie Lakin.
Eddie Lakin, yes, him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I messed up the names there.
Bob Shepard was.
He's the voice announcer. Yeah, and those guys started it, man. And then Steinbrenner started the relief pitcher. He got rid of him with the catfish hunter and all that, and then he started the DH with
the Yankees. The DH started in 1973, and the American League brought it in, and the first official DH that was used was Ron Blomberg. In 1973. And he was a Yankee, and he's set as the first official DH in the American League was Ron Blomberg.
Yeah, I think that was Steinbrenner's last official duty before he got kicked out. Because he bought the team in '72, and then he got kicked out of baseball in '73 for giving a donation to the
Nixon.
to the Nixon campaign. So that's what got him kicked out. And that was
some scandals.
Yeah, and then when he came back, he started with the catfish hunter and the closer and all that stuff.
The whole big free agency situation started with George Steinbrenner.
Everything.
Catfish hunter, and then on to Reggie Jackson and Don Gullett and Goose Gossage, and he signed many big free agents.
So what happened with Steinbrenner is when he got kicked out, he became the chairman of the board for the Olympic Committee.
Right.
For the Olympic. And now he got to meet these other entrepreneurs and owners, and that's how he learned how to do the free agency trade. He learned the laws and bylaws, and that's how he started it for real after that, you know?
Steinbrenner wanted to win, and he really thought that the Yankees were something special, and he felt that the Yankees representing New York City were something special, and he had a major desire to win and have the Yankees be a winning team.
That's right. And for the last something that you didn't maybe you didn't know, but we're gonna end it here.
Okay.
Did you ever know? Because I read the Steinbrenner book. Did you ever know when Steinbrenner bought the Yankees? Okay, he needed investors to help him buy the team.
Oh yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I knew that.
Now
he was a shipbuilder. His family built ships, and he was from Cleveland.
Now, do you know who the richest guy on the Yankees right now is? That is part owner from back then.
Well,
I'm gonna give you a hint. No, I'm gonna give you a hint. He's a Yankee player. He used to be a Yankee player.
I don't know.
I'm gonna give you an even bigger clue. He used to play third base. I think he had blonde hair too. No, not A-Rod.
Scott Brosius.
Nope. You ready?
Yes.
Greg Nettles.
Oh wow, Greg Nettles. I didn't know that.
Greg Nettles. He is part owner of the Yankees. He is a shareholder of the Yankees from the beginning when Steinbrenner bought the team.
Wow, I did not know that at all. I'll read up on that.
Yes, because at the time, Greg Nettles was playing for Cleveland, I believe, at the time in the early 70s.
Yes, and he was traded to the Yankees.
So here's the story. Steinbrenner at the time was looking to buy a team. And he wanted to buy the Cleveland Indians. That was his favorite team. He wanted to buy the Cleveland Indians. But for whatever reason, MLB baseball, they told him no. He can't do it. Right? So he fell back on it. And he said, you know what? I'm going to go back to the shipping company. Right? What happened was the Yankees fell through with, what was it, CBS or whatever company that is?
CBS.
It fell through with CBS, and he found out about that. And he said, wait a minute, let me put some money together. He got people together because he was friends with the Cleveland Indians, owner and staff, whatever, and he knew the players. And that's how he knew Greg Nettles. And Greg Nettles helped him find investors with him and put money on the Yankees to own the team.
Wow, I did not know Greg Nettles' involvement.
So right now, Greg Nettles must be a quadrillionaire.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Well, the Steinbrenner family is still the principal owner.
Yeah. Well, he's a shareholder. He's a shareholder. Nettles. But he must have quadrillion dollars by now because he owned the Yankees since the beginning.
Wow.
You know, he was a shareholder from the beginning. So imagine man. That's why you don't see Greg Nettles no more. You never see Greg Nettles.
Really.
No, you don't see him. You ain't never gonna see him again.
Day.
Never. He don't sign no autograph. He don't do nothing. Nothing.
Wow.
And I think I got Greg Nettles too autograph. I gotta check that. But yeah,
and
man.
Don't forget, I'll be bringing up the Derek Jeter rookie card when I come up in September.
I truly appreciate that, man. That's gonna go into like a shrine or something, man.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So it's just about time for the game.
That's right. And this has been a successful podcast. And I want to let everybody know, please subscribe to us. And by giving a thumbs up to the video, lets us know that you care and appreciate this stuff. Because we enjoy doing this because we talk baseball. And I hope you guys could listen and talk baseball too. What do you think, Roger?
Yeah, I would say so. I always enjoy. I'm glad I met Frank this year, and I really enjoyed talking to him, and I consider him a good friend.
That's right, man. And we're gonna end it there. And the next podcast will be on the road at Yankee Stadium. So tune in, and we'll see you there live. So
All right.
so long, everybody. You want to say anything, Roger, before we go?
Okay, well, thanks. It's always good talking to you, and you gave me some information I didn't know about, so I enjoy learning from you as well, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Absolutely. Adios, everybody. See ya.